Hey everyone, welcome back to Hamilton Hollow Homestead. I'm Tanya Hamilton. I'm just doing a quick little channel update and let you all know what's going on with our homestead. Here on the homestead, I'm going to start with the bad news and get it over with. Our time as beekeepers ended because we made the fatal mistake of trying to move our bees and not following the advice of beekeepers who have more experience than we do. I decided I was going to put a screened bottom board on my hive and block them up and keep them inside before I moved them. And I regret that, and that's not a mistake I'm likely to repeat. I had been advised by another beekeeper to just pick them up and move them. I did not follow that advice, and I regret that. So one piece of advice that I can give to you after my first summer as a beekeeper is that always follow the advice of more experienced beekeepers, especially if they're telling you to do something easier than what you were thinking you were going to do. So that being said, we do have future plans to have bees again. This past spring, that would be spring 2024, we bought some bee traps, swarm traps, to try to catch swarms here in our local area on our property, and that was not successful. We thought we had a couple colonies moved in, but that was not the case, and so we were unsuccessful in catching swarms. We could try that again. We have plans to probably get another nuke and start, because we have all this equipment, we want to get another nuke and keep bees maybe spring 2025. In the meantime, like Jess at Roots and Refuge Farm likes to say, I'm trying to make my waiting room my classroom, and so I'm reading a book by a local veterinarian, biologist, teacher, Miss Tracy Ferrone. This book was recommended to me by a good friend who knows Tracy personally, and I got to say, this is a very good read. She does use big words, and I'm college educated, and there were some words that I couldn't quite follow, and I had to use a dictionary. But again, she's a scientist, she's a biologist, so she's going to talk over my head a little bit, I'm sure. But it's a good book. I highly recommend it for anyone who I recommend it for anybody who's looking for more information about bees and how they work. She organizes the information very nicely in what she calls frames. So everything in the book is organized so that you get them in chunks. So I'm only about halfway through. But once I finish this, I know that I'll be more knowledgeable whenever we get our new nuke in next spring. So we also have, lots of other projects going on. I'm going to try to bring you some content about those projects. I have work I need to do on my greenhouse. We had a big storm, and one of the glass windows in the greenhouse was broken, so that needs to be replaced. And I still haven't replaced the roof of the greenhouse. We had put some of the corrugated plastic as our roof, and it got brittle and just shattered, and there were pieces of plastic everywhere. So if you're thinking of building a greenhouse, please don't use that clear plastic corrugated sheets that you can get at any hardware store. I don't recommend it. It just shattered, and I ended up having to pick up little pieces of plastic all over my yard and elsewhere. It seemed like a good idea at the time, and it was pretty expensive, so I thought it would last. and it didn't. We actually only got to use it for 2 summers. So I also am working on a heat sink for my greenhouse. So I'm going to be working on that, and if you're interested, I hope you come back and watch. I have projects going on in my kitchen. I need to build some custom drawers where it's just a blank cupboard with not even a front on it. So I'm going to be doing that. And I also need to get done with my glass tile for my backsplash in my kitchen. I have bought some tiles that are oddly shaped, and I'm learning how to cut them correctly. I haven't had any luck yet. Apparently someone told me that I'm not scoring it deep enough for it to break. So that's going to take some practice. I'm sure there's a technique to that. And there's obviously lots more projects to work on. And I hope that you come back and watch.